Hey everyone, it's the Lone Biker here, John McCracken. Today I am on the lesser spotted mountain bike because I am in Whitelee Wind Farm and I'm going to take you to what might be Scotland's smallest trail centre. Now you find me here out on a bit of trail I've taken you before, because what we're on now is technically the Weaver's Trail. Look back at that video if you haven't watched it already. And we are going to head over towards the visitor centre because just 700 metres from the visitor centre is a purpose-built mountain bike trail. Now, way back 15-20 years ago, when the whole of Whitelee Wind Farm was envisaged, the buzz around the mountain bike community back then, and back then I was a mountain biker only, was that there was going to be a trail centre that would be as good, if not better than, all the 7 Stains. Look them up if you haven't seen. However, it never materialised, and a few years in, what we got was a small, billed as 4-kilometre trail near the trail centre. It's never really became a full-blown trail centre. Now, you can correct me if you know differently, but there is a lot of forestry in here, and I don't know if it's the Forestry Commission that work the forestry in here. I don't know if that had something to do with it, because the forestry in here is always changing. Also, I heard a rumour that the Forestry Commission objected to the plans for a trail centre because it would take customers away from the 7 Stains. Now, I don't know if that is true or not. Maybe somebody knows different and can let me know. However, I thought that was a very silly argument, because I wouldn't have mountain biked at the 7 Stains any less. I would have mountain biked a lot more on top of the 7 Stains. But let's get on the bike and let's head towards the visitor centre, where you can get a coffee and check out that video, and we'll have a wee buzz round the trail that's there for mountain bikes. Come on, let's get cracking. So, if you come down the hill from Whitelee's Visitor Centre and turn left, just like I did for my crits at Turbine 53, this is Turbine 53 here, but we're not going that far. You'll see there's a brown sign here telling you there's a walking path, but kinda hidden away. If we just go right here, here we go. There is the sign there for the Whitelee mountain bike trails. You just got this wee path, round the corner, and here we have the starting area for it. I will just park the bike over here. So, behind me is one of the wee shelters. It looks like a glamping pod with all the inners taken out, and these have been here for 15 years now. So I say these, there's only one of them, but you can see the roof and stuff is kind of falling in, and I think there was 2 others over in both of these picnic tables, but they were taken away. I don't know whether they were weather beaten or vandalised, I don't really know. But you can see how close we are to the visitor centre, because there it is up there. So you're just coming down the hill and along to the trails. Now, the entrance is just over here, and this is where you come out at the end. Now, it says 4 kilometres. I'm not sure if that's 4 kilometres if you do it a couple of times and add in the various options. What I mean by options is this is rated as a blue route, and you'll notice when you go to a trail centre, green tends to be a kind of forest walk, much like the gravel path. Blue, you've got Singletrack, but there's nothing technical. It's actually good fun. Red, a wee bit more technical, but not too bad. And then black is usually your extreme stuff with big roots and big drop-offs and big rocks and stuff. Now this is rated as blue. It's not that technical at all. What it does have on it is red options. So there's no red route. You could go round it and only do blue, and then go round it and add in all the red options. I don't know if that's what makes up the 4 kilometres of it. But come on, we'll mount up and we will have a go on the mountain bike trails here. Right, so here we are at the start of the route. Now my Wahoo says I've done 19 kilometres bang on, so I'm going to go round once. I'll chuck in a few of the options just for a wee bit of fun, and we'll see what kind of distance we've got at the end. And we might stop along the way and have a wee look at some other things that are on the trail. So you can see it's pretty sedate. It is quite rocky, more so than the forest roads out and about in Whitelee. Right, so there's a couple of blues there. We'll go left because that kind of keeps us to the outside. We'll maybe go down that other blue a second time. Right, here's our first red option. A couple of rock drop-offs. Maybe do a wee jump. I'll keep doing the reds in this one. I used to be a lot more confident on a mountain bike. I don't do it as much these days, so my technical skills maybe aren't quite what they used to be. But the red here, I would say, is more blue plus than red. So most people will be able to do them. Wee rock garden here, just out the saddle. I always forget when I get back out on my mountain bike how much I actually enjoy it and miss it. It's just a shame you've got to drive a couple of hours to all the good trail centres. Ooh. Forget how mountain biking is really good for making quick decisions about lines and gear changes, etc. Couple of wee berms here. Now, we'll just stop in here for a wee second because this is a wee extra. This is the pump track. So let's have a wee bang round the pump track. When I brought my daughter up to do these trails, we had to stop here for ages because this is what she loved the most, was doing the pump track, and round and round and round and round. Woo, good fun. And you can add that in, and then this wee bit takes you out again. So that was good fun, that was the pump track. And that's probably one of the things that's quite good about the trails, is that children could come and do this. If you're new to mountain biking or you want to bring your kids to try it, this is perfect because there's nothing really technical. I think I found an extra wee loop there. Anyway, on with the show. As I said, I think that's what makes it 4 kilometres, is there's extra wee loops that you can add in I used to know them all because I used to come here a wee bit more, but not so much these days. I'm more of a gravel rider, as you'll know. I actually did this in my gravel bike when I was warming up for the crits the other night there, just for a bit of fun, which was what made me think, why don't you come back here and chat about these trails? And we've got some wooden berms here that are worn and in need of repair, but I doubt that's going to happen anytime soon. A wee rock garden here. This might test the skills and abilities because I think it's an uphill one. No, it didn't really. Or maybe this will. There's a nice easy line through it, just for the sake of talking and narrating. Kind of taking easier lines through these red options. A wee helter-skelter climb. And this trail, it's almost contained within a wee island. You can walk all the way around it, and if it wasn't for the signs, if you were out on the gravel, you wouldn't see it or know it exists. Right, I think this is an extra wee loop at the top. Couple of wee bermed corners. I think what this would be good for as well is if you haven't mountain biked in a while, myself being the case in point, this would be great just to build your skills again and just get the joy of mountain biking back. And also, what it would also be good for is if you were doing any nighttime events, you could come up here with the lights on, and I bet you it would be good fun to do. A couple of wee tabletops here, nice smooth rock drop off there, nothing technical but good fun, woohoo! Now I've got a wee bridge here which you can bypass, and it does have the anti-slip stuff on it, so makes it a wee bit safer. I'll not bother with that bridge because it looks a bit worn and slippy. Looks like a first class ticket to the accident and emergency department. And there's the end of that wee loop, so if you're at this bit you might find cyclists coming towards you just for this wee stretch. And then back on the main trail. We should soon actually see the shelter that we started at. It's a shame we don't have all 3 shelters there, because you could have a good day out, fun here, picnics, etc. with the family. Oh, right, round we go. Do you know what, if I'm being honest, this is better fun than I expected it to be. Oh, there's a shelter on to my left. Means we must be near the end. And 2 blue arrows because you can go right and just go round it again. But here we are, back at the start. Now, that is bang on 2 kilometres. So, bang on 2 kilometres there. which I think tells us what the 4 kilometre thing is. I think you do the loop once, maybe just doing the blue options, and then doing it again, adding in the reds, or the pump track, or the wee circuit at the very top, and that gives you 4 kilometres of trail. So you can change it up each time. In fact, you could do more than 4 kilometres because you could easily just pick and choose, some reds, some not. You could do it whatever way you like. So all in all, I was surprised by how much I enjoyed that. But is this Scotland's smallest trail centre? Is it really a trail centre to call it? It does have a mountain bike track, it does have a cafe. I wouldn't say it was worth driving hours and hours and hours to come to, but if you happen to be here on your mountain bike in Whitelee's amazing gravel roads, just give it a wee go for a wee bit of fun. And if you live round about here in the Glasgow or the Ayrshire area and you didn't know about this, or you were thinking I haven't done that in a while, pop down with your mountain bike because it is a good wee bit of fun. So, I hope you enjoyed this whistle-stop tour of the mountain bike trails at Whitelee Wind Farm. Check out my other adventures I have up here on gravel in Whitelee, and make sure you come and visit it yourself. But while I go off and get myself a coffee, there is just 3 things you need to do. Could you like this video, subscribe, and get out and ride?